Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. And as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. I got a special treat for you guys today for sale. This is a custom-made, one-of-a-kind guitar. And when I seen it, I fell in love with it because I'm like, this guy put so much attention to detail in this thing. And what I'm offering for the paint job and the design alone is worth that. Plus, you get a great guitar. I mean, the action is good because when it came, it had 10s on us. Like, this too thick for me. So I yanked them 10s out, put on 8s because I don't like 10s. I don't like stiff strings, you know. But to each his own. But I don't like 10s. I do 9s sometimes, and I do 8s most of the time. I can't do 10s no time. And I changed the strings, lowered it down a little bit. It wasn't high, but I just lowered it because I like to lower it as low as it can go before it goes buzzing. That's just how I like to play because, like I told you, professional musician, I play anywhere from 8 to 10 hours a day. So I need something that's going to be comfortable, you know, for just people that just play their guitars occasionally. Maybe, you know, 10s be okay for you. But when you playing 8, 9, 10 hours straight ahead, you know, you want something that's going to be real comfortable on your hands. And I'm going to stick it up to the camera in a minute. But I'm just looking at it. I mean, this guy, if I was a guitar builder, I would be like this guy because I will add a lot of attention to detail. I mean, the pick guard is just beautiful. It's a wood finish. And the theme of it, and I'll show you in a minute, but on the guitar pick guard, it got a lot of work done. You know, I'm just going to stick it up here so you guys can see it. Because I'm sure you already seen it on the cover I just did, Sanford and Townsend, Smoke from a Distance of a Fire, something to that effect. I just heard that song today, fell in love with it, decided I'd do a cover on it. But I call this guitar, I entitled it or named it, which I think is appropriate for the theme. I call it the Sign of the Times guitar. And I'm not talking about Prince, but unfortunately, the sign of these times as we live right now, November 2020. And stick it up so you can really read what it says. And then attention to detail, the bloody handprint. Then I'll try it closer. And then I'll probably stick a little closer, but the mic is in the way. I gotta speak through the mic. The pick guard says, biohazardous, stay 10 feet away. And then it has that biohazardous design inside the pick guard. The pick guard, or the pickups are red. The tuning, or the tone knobs are red. The switch is red. This is a very unique guitar, you know, and it sounds great. It's one of those guitars that cut through the mix. The last time I heard a guitar that really gave presence, and I'm not talking about pumping it up real loud so you can hear it over everything because it's loud. No, you don't have to turn up that loud and it just cuts through the mix, was Harley Benton guitars that I had. I loved it. I mean, the tone was just incredible, and it's nearly, if almost identical, well, not identical, but very, very similar to that guitar, those guitars. And this guitar, it cuts through the mix, you know. You'll hear it. I believe it linked down here. I did one song. Probably by the time you see this, probably 2 songs. And it cuts through the mix. You can hear it. You know, it has a beautiful, clear tone. I'm going to turn it around to the back. You can see that. Because again, it's unfortunately the signs of these times. Yes, there's biohazard, stay back 6 feet or more. And then there, around here, some very unique screws to it. And what, again, I said, you know, a lot of attention to detail. I'll show you the neck. Neck is good. Neck feels good. Action is very good. This is a brand new guitar. It's not used. Nobody else had it but me. And a headstock. Now, what I like about this guitar, well, actually a whole lot of things, but I like that. If you can see that. And I'm going to tell you why I like that. It's got 2 of them there. And what I'm about to say, professional musicians can totally agree with this. And he's like, man, I thought I was the only way to feel like this. As you're playing your guitar in the studio, you got your headphones, you're reading. Then sometimes you have a tendency to turn your head back and forth, kind of whatever. Then this thing here, headphones, get snapped up in there. And your shit like this. You can barely move and you pissed, and then you shaking, trying to, not disturb the recording and be the one to have to do, we have to do it over because of me. This thing here, loops on here. When you don't want to, and then it starts snagging on your headset and you shaking it off, trying to play still, because I do that on some of my covers, if you ever notice. And sometimes, if you remember, if you got a clamp, you'll take the clamp and put it over here, so when you do turn, it doesn't grab that. But for the most part, you forget about the little clamp. And this thing here, the guitar strap thing, it's right up in there and gets stuck. That one, the way it's designed, that can't happen. So that's a good thing. Then it also comes with a custom guitar strap that will attach to the guitar with those loops. I go through periods where I want to keep everything because when I run into certain guitars, they have to pass my inspection. Like I told you, that other one didn't. This one passed with flying colors on every aspect, not on just the playability, not on just the sound, but the look and design of the guitar. This is a one of a kind. And this is one of those guitars, when you go out and play live, people gonna notice. They're gonna notice this guitar. They're gonna remember this guitar because the guy did a great job on the design. It's a custom paint job. And because I asked him, I said, how do you do this? And he kind of explained. He said you used a blowtorch or something. I'm like, okay, that's all I need to know, because ain't something I'm going to be doing anytime soon. But I was just curious, how do they do what they do? But, like I said, I put brand new 8s on here. This thing is it's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. It looks good. And I just noticed the red tone knobs on the top is it almost looks like it's a burnt effect because it's dark. And, he did that deliberately, like it's, on fire. I mean, this thing is, like I told you, I hate to sell anything that I got now, but I got them coming in. And when they come in, either they have to go because I'm keeping what I got, or I end up selling something I got to keep this because I'm trying to keep my collection down to a certain number minimum. And like I told you guys in another video, I've been focusing on mandolin and a little more piano. So I'm not playing all these as much as I used to. And it has the little biohazard signal sign up here. And it also have it down here on the toy fret. So like I said, as I'm talking, I'm seeing stuff that I didn't even notice, Custom tuning pegs, they're black, and these feel good. And I'll stick these back up to the camera so you guys can see it. But this guy put a lot of work in this guitar. I mean, you can look at it and tell that he didn't just throw it together. He gave it a lot of thought of the theme of it, unfortunately, the signs of the times. And he did a good job, I mean, I'm very impressed with this guitar. And I'm letting it go for $239 plus $50 shipping and handling. Unfortunately, I cannot ship to California anymore because it costs too much money to ship it there. And now with the pandemic, it's kind of slowing things down. The post office is kind of, missed a couple of steps, and it's no fault of their own. What's going on is what's going on. So, unfortunately, can't do that. But $50 anywhere else, and I'm doing basically a guesstimate because sometimes it's like $60, sometimes $70. I'm like, well, I eat the $15 to $20 because I'm giving you a guesstimate. But when it's 80, 90, 100 plus, it's a deal that can't be done. But I'm gonna stick it back up so you can see these toners. I mean, and they feel good and they smooth, So again, it's $239 plus $50 shipping and handling. I'll leave a link down here so you can hear this guitar. When you're interested, please leave me a comment first. Don't just send the money. And the reason why I ask that, because if everybody just starts sending the money, I open up my email account. I got 4 PayPals for the same guitar. So clear it with me first. Leave a comment, say, Morris, man, I want to grab it now. Is it still available? Because if you don't see sold across the header, it is. Then I'll respond and say, yes, send your money. Then you send your money. I put sold here, and it's a done deal. Instead of it becomes confusing, because I've had to sometimes send people money back, because I'm like, unfortunately, 2 other guys were ahead of you, and the guy that was ahead of you, there was a guy ahead of him. So to eliminate that type of confusion and disappointment, confirm it with me first. Again, leave a comment down here. Say, Morris, man, I want this guitar. Still available? I say, yes, send your money. You send your money. It's a done deal. So, again, neck is good. I mean, the guy did a good job. I mean, I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed. I mean, there's no fret issues. I don't know what kind of wood it is. And I want to throw out a guess, but I don't want to do that, because if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I don't want to be wrong. Because I kind of thought it was this certain type of wood, which I'm not going to mention, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm not going to say that and then be wrong. So I'm not going to even try to give you guys that information. The only thing I can say is, feels good. It sounds great. Like I told you guys, this guitar cut through the mix. The last guitar that sounded like this, again, forgive me for sounding like a broken record, was the Harley Benton guitars. Because I did a cover of Average White Band, Pick Up the Pieces, and I played that Harley Benton. It was out there. And like I told you, it's not out there in the sense of I just cranked up the volume a little bit on top of the mix. No, it just cuts through the mix. Because there are just some guitars that cut through the mix. Because the Dolphin Blue guitar that I sold, sometimes because it was so bright, it didn't cut through the mix. Because the last song I did was called Anne. There was this double stop I did. And I'm like, I can't even hear it. And I played it 3 different times, and I kind of turned it up a little bit, and I'm like, I still can't hear that double stop. And if I turn it up too loud where I can hear it, now I'm too loud over the mix. But this guitar here, cut right through, I mean, I was amazed when I started doing that cover. I'm listening to it, I'm like, man, this thing is ringing. And again, it's not that I had it up real loud over the mix, it's just cutting through. I don't know what kind of pickups are in here, but I love them. I wish I can get several more, and I might do that. I might contact him, because and forgive me for digressing, I'm about to sign off in a minute. One of my Just Dave guitars that I will most likely never part with, it's the 60s theme. It's it's not pink. What is it called? Salmon color Strat copy. The pickups in that is awful, And you rarely run across a guitar where you say that, but it's not cut through the mix. The tone is kind of scratchy. And I might just contact this guy and say, hey, could you please put those pickups in that guitar? Because if he can do that, which he can, because I just thought about it, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely going to keep that and play it more. But I don't play it that much because it's just, the pickups don't sound, they just like, they don't have a good tone. And I rarely ever run across a guitar that just don't kind of sound good. Most of them sound good, but they might have some other issues. But I'm definitely going to contact him and have him give me these same pickups, because I love the tone in this thing. I mean, this guitar is incredible. So again, it's $239, $50 shipping and handling. Send it out the very next business day, United States Postal, with tracking. You also got to sign for it. Then I'll put some insurance on it, in the event that something happens to it, or more, But that's it. PayPal is right down there. Once you submit your PayPal, once you submit your money, I put sold across there. It's a done deal. Till next time, take care. Thanks for watching. And also a link down here so you can hear it.